Administration. Has the Biden administration been helpful for you? Have we seen numbers go up or down? And what about under Trump?
Well, it was interesting. Trump's first term, it was way down, veteran homelessness, because they were really heavily leaned into the veteran community. And then when we had this migrant crisis, a lot of the VA HUD-VASH funds that are supposed to house homeless veterans ended up getting reallocated to migrants. So it went up by 12%. And I think it will go back down under this new administration.
Wow. So that money that was supposed to go to veterans went to the migrants. Correct. And that's why some of these veterans are on the street. They didn't tell that first guy why he wasn't allowed to stay in the shelter.
Well, they're not allowed to stay in the shelter because there's not enough shelters is the problem. And if you went to prison, like most of these people have gone to prison for domestic violence and things, drugs, and then they can't get in the shelter. They won't put them in these military shelters, so they continue to not get rehabilitated. They just retain their trauma for their whole life.
Well, I know you're going to be working with Washington. You're a lobbyist as well. You'll be working with Doug Collins and whoever some of these appointments, if these appointments go through, Pete Hegseth possibly. So thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
You're awesome.
How are we all doing out there today? This video I want to do for our veterans for Memorial Day. These guys gave everything for our country, everything for our country. They are the bravest people in the world, these men and women that give us our freedom to do what we do. And some of these people have gone overseas at a very, very young age, 18, seen things that I'm a grown man and I wouldn't want to deal with. They've have to do things that just are going to scar them for the rest of their days. And we got a lot of them that are living on the streets, not being taken care of. They need help, and it breaks my heart to see these brave individuals having to endure everything they've been through and come back here and they're homeless. It is unacceptable, people. Very unacceptable. I can speak of my uncle, older guy, was in Vietnam, and the things I've seen this man go through, he was so traumatized. He would literally wake up in the middle of the night thinking that he was still in the jungle, and he would be crawling across the floor, just totally out of it. So people, I just want to say I'm a firm believer in our vets, and we have to take care of them. These Democrats gave all this money to these illegal immigrants living in five-star hotels while our veterans are homeless. This is what the Democratic Party has become. You don't see them doing major outbreaking newscasts or anything like that about our veterans being homeless. My belief is that anybody who has served our country and has gone overseas to defend our country should never have that problem. They should never even have to work ever again. They should be given a car, and they should be given a house, and they should be given money every month. Doing it for the illegals, can't do it for our veterans. This is the backbone of our country, people. These are people that went and did things that nobody else would ever want to do for our freedom. But they come back here and they're homeless. People, this is what the Democratic Party is. They don't tell you that. All the money not all of it, a lot of it, was coming out of the veterans' budget for these illegals to stay in five-star hotels, get the Social Security. What were they, $3,874 a month they were getting out of our Social Security that we work for? If somebody's going to take it, I'd rather give it to the vets. I would give mine proudly to the vets that have taken care of our country. I would gladly let them take it. But no, our Democrats give it to these illegals to do what? What are these illegals doing for our country? What are they doing? They're doing nothing. Chaos, havoc. They don't want to be here. We had all the illegal Mexicans in California protesting Donald Trump, sending them out of here. What kind of flag were they all demonstrating with? A Mexican flag. Not doing the United States flag, because it's just, they want to be here to get the free money. People, we got to wake up. We got to wake up. You know, if we're not taking care of our own people, and we're out here taking care of these illegals, what are the illegals and what have the Democrats done for this country? I'm going to show you what they're doing with their illegals that they bring in here and what these illegals are doing to our country.
The federal government spent over $66 billion on illegal immigrants in 2023, according to the Federation for American Immigration. Does anyone here want to guess how much we've spent on homeless veterans in 23? Guess? High? Well, let's just start. Higher, lower, the same? Anybody want to guess?
Fractional.
Fractional. Thank you. 3 billion. 66 on illegals, 3 billion on people who have laid down their lives for this country. Can anyone explain up there why that makes sense?
Well, one is including all sorts of benefits, and one is just looking at a very, very narrow slice.
No, I'm using the same
So if you
numbers.
look
I'm,
at-
sir,
if
you
look
are.
at the
I am
correct
using
comparison,
apples
it would
to
be a very
apples.
different.
I'm using apples to
calculation.
apples. So since you know, why don't you share with me?
We don't
Oh,
track
you
U.S.
don't know.
We don't check
You don't
track
know.
U.S.
Okay.
veterans in the census, so that would be very helpful if we did. Then I would be
Yeah,
able to
we
give
did.
you a
But
very.
do you know
good-
the answer? Because
good-
I do. I do. So I appreciate your opinion of which you have no facts on. But let me continue and let me educate you some more. The federal government, breaking that $66 billion down, let's look at what we fund. So you might want to get a pencil and paper and take some notes because I'll help you do your job. $5.8 billion in SNAP, $10 billion in Medicare, $8.2 billion in uncompensated hospital expenditures, $3 billion for primary and secondary education for illegal immigrants, And how many illegal immigrants are given taxpayer-funded housing compared to the number of homeless veterans that are sleeping on the street? You don't know because you don't want to know. You don't want to see the numbers. Well, different. I do, and I can share with you the American people do. Because I'll share with you, the people in my district, in Michigan, of the 9th District, we care about our homeless veterans. We care about our veterans. And yes, we care about them a little bit more than we care about people who have broken the law to get here illegally. So I actually have some suggestions, and maybe some answers on how to fix it. Instead of $66 billion, here are a couple things we could spend. The White House has requested $13 million for the National Call Center for homeless veterans. I'm going to say it again, $13 million with an M, right? Maybe we could find that out of that $66 billion, right, different between million and billion, big difference, we could funnel some more of that $66 billion to our homeless veterans. Anyone opposed to that? Why aren't we doing it? Why aren't we doing it? Anybody got an idea? Anybody got an idea? Why we're not, God bless you, why we're not doing it? I'll tell you why we're not doing it, because the Biden administration does not want to do it. Am I correct? Am I incorrect on that? I didn't think so. This year's budget request from the White House asks for $17.2 billion in mental health spending for veterans. That $10 billion we lose to Medicare spending would surely benefit to struggle with the mental health issues. So why don't we do this? America's a very charitable country. Why don't we take care of our own first? Anyone see a problem with that? Why don't we? I'll tell you why we don't. Because the Biden administration doesn't want to do that. It's maddening to me The White House budget requested for caregiver support programs not $2.9 billion. Maybe instead of $3 billion for educating illegal immigrants, we can give more funding to caregiver support programs, right? We're all talking about both sides of the aisle, which ironically doesn't even want to participate in this hearing, sadly, but not unexpected. We all talk about caregiving is a problem, right? I hear that on both sides of the aisle. What would happen if we took that $3 billion and gave it to caregivers that live in the United States? Anyone have a problem with that? Why don't we do it? Anybody? The Biden administration doesn't want to do it. And you play games with your facts. And you play this shell game. Well, I'm going to share with you, the American people are not fooled, and they are frustrated and fed up with it. Let's just be honest about where this money is going so we possibly can redirect it to the correct place. Let's start with our veterans. Thank you. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Okay, people, that was pretty pathetic. That stuff the Democrats do not want you to know. People, these people have given their lives for us, for our freedoms. They're giving their lives for the freedoms that we have today, the ones that the Democrats are trying to take away from us. How many soldiers were left behind fighting for our freedom? I think it was last week, a couple weeks ago. I don't know if he was a Korean vet or a World War II vet. I kind of think he was more of a Korean vet. And these liberal protesters were screaming and yelling at him, calling him a fascist. People, these Democrats and liberals don't even have a clue. This man has seen things that I would never want to see, nor would anybody else. But we're going to sit there and tell him and yell and scream and call him a fascist, throw stuff at him? People, that's why I do these videos, is to try to get the good people out there, the good Americans that love our country, to show you, to my best ability, to show you what the Democrats have become. Okay, the conservatives don't have the news. They don't. It's more propaganda on the left-hand side, because that's all CNN, like I discussed in my earlier videos, CNN, MSNBC, they're all paid by the Democratic Party. All of them. If you think Joe Biden was rational, or you even think he had a thought in his head his whole presidency, then that's another problem. But people, day one, pretty much everybody knew there was something wrong with him, and the news media was like, oh, there's nothing to see here, nothing to see here. While they're running our country into the ground. Illegal immigrants over veterans. People, these guys have just lived in places and done things that none of us can deal with. Let's be honest. They're a special breed, and me personally, I love my veterans, man. They are everything. Willing to die for our freedoms. And that is very awesome, people. Very awesome. Women that have been left behind dead overseas. Men gave their lives for our country, and we have liberals taking money and giving it to people that don't even belong here. Makes no sense. Plus, whatever else our Democratic Party has done. See what they did with the money that they took from the veterans to bring the illegals over, and see what the illegals done for our country.
Hey there, Tim. I just want to tell all them vets out there happy Memorial Day. I want them to know how much I appreciate the sacrifices they made for this country. You know what I mean, son? Everybody should be thanking them. Because without them, we wouldn't have the freedoms that we have today. We got some of these people, man, they just went overseas and they didn't come home, son. And the ones that did come home don't have a home to come home to. Why? Because the Democratic Party decided that they're going to bring all these illegal immigrants in here and going to give them a bunch of money. And from that video I just seen, a USA city looking like that, son, drugged up people everywhere, fentanyl everywhere. Democratic Party don't care about the American people, son. They don't care about their vets. They don't care about the children here in America. All they care about is their illegals and their due process for their illegals. Son, I just want to tell all my veterans out there, thank you so much for keeping this country safe. God bless y'all. Thank you very much.